Alright everybody, listen up. I am sick and tired of seeing all these people in society, in humanity, who haven't seen the brilliance of One Piece. And I know my fellow One Piecers have experienced this dilemma. You want to introduce someone to One Piece, but they either give you one of these excuses. Either one, oh it's too long, I don't want to watch 1100 episodes of a show about pirates. I'll be dead before I'm done watching that. Or some people will give you the excuse of, oh, but the art style and the animation of the older episodes is just too outdated and ugly. I can't possibly put myself through that. Or three, which are the people who are like, oh, I hate anime. I'm not gonna watch no Japanese cartoons. I love Love Island and Big Mouth. Have you seen those shows, man? Those are absolute cinema. And those people scare me the most. And some people may say, well, Quad, everything isn't for everybody. Maybe One Piece just isn't for everybody. And okay, maybe One Piece isn't for everybody. But then you have people who are in denial while refusing to give it a shot. It doesn't matter what they hear, what they see, they won't listen to you. Maybe they're all just secretly in agreement that they love One Piece, but aren't gonna publicly admit it. Who knows? So I don't care if they don't want to listen to my spiel. I'm gonna say it anyway. And if you're a hater and you do want to listen, well, just know you're making the right choice. One Piece at its core is a show about dreams. It can make you cry, it can make you sad, and it will make you angry. But at its core, it will remind you of the simplest joys in life. The simple interactions between the Straw Hat Pirates will quite literally lift your spirits up to the point where you've ascended into happiness, that is. A lot of characters in One Piece have such a carefree nature towards the world. Even though they have huge responsibilities, they aren't majorly burdened by them. Simply seeing these characters chase their dreams while being their jolly selves really makes you think about just breaking away from the grind of the world and chasing your own dreams. Like, just listen to this glowing testimony.
Before watching One Piece, I was consumed with my boring life with no thrill. But now, I feel like I'm swimming with dolphins and running with unicorns.
Listen to how happy he is. Don't you want to be this happy? Well, guess what? You can. Some people will say, well, Quad, One Piece isn't very historic. One Piece isn't very relevant to modern events and issues. And these are the same people who haven't seen a lick of One Piece. One Piece is probably the most historically relevant and currently relevant piece of media to ever be crafted. The moments we are brought to tears, or are made angry because of examples of oppression. You can't help but draw similarities between its story and what's happened in history. It may be more extreme than what's happening in real life, but it's still an example of what can happen if things go too far. There's a reason the Straw Hat flag is sometimes used in real life protests. It's because the Straw Hats have liberated countless nations that are oppressed by their governments, by the broader system, so much that their flag is literally a symbol of liberation to many in the real world. And if you didn't know the Straw Hat flag was being flown in real life protests, you're welcome. One Piece is so relevant to the point where you would spend more time arguing that it isn't relevant than if you were arguing that it is. One Piece is so relevant that you could write extensive essays about the relevant themes in each part of the story, and they would be incredibly powerful pieces. Even saying One Piece is relevant would be kinda inaccurate. The correct thing to say would be relevance is One Piece. One Piece being too long is mainly an illusion of the mind, a trick play on you making you think something will actually take forever, when in reality it only took me 5 years to catch up. I'll give you this, One Piece haters. One Piece is longer than the average book or show, but that's because the scope of One Piece is so much bigger than anything else out there. One Piece being so relevant means it has so much to address. The world is so vast and interesting that it needs a lot of time to be fully fleshed out, and there are so many mysteries in the story about places, people, things. So why are you acting like you're on a time limit? One Piece is not meant to be skimmed through. It's better when you take your time with a story and take breaks when you've got enough on your mind about the story. Sometimes you'll finish arcs quickly, and sometimes it'll take you a little bit to get an arc going, and that's okay. One Piece is a journey. You're gonna look back on the memories you have watching previous arcs in the show, just like how characters in a show look back on how they were previously in the story. You grow with the characters because of the lengthy pacing, and it fills you with joy when you see how far they've come compared to the beginning of the story. It may take longer, but you'll get a bigger wave of gratification. So if you decided to start the greatest show of all time, consider yourself one of a kind. One Piece, if you will. And if you refuse, I'll tell you what I tell my friends. I'll get you someday.